Is everybody in?
Yep.
Anyone want to come in here? You sure? All right. Okay. First off, I want to mention a caveat. If there's going to be any questions in reference to the remains, the funeral, or anything having to do with Kaylee, I will not be answering that. As you heard me in court, it's nobody's business, and that's the position I'm taking, and I'm certainly just not going to go there. I'm going to respect the dignity of this child and her memory, and I certainly won't address that in any way, shape, or form.
Jose, was your client Casey reluctant to come to court, and if so, what did she tell you as to why?
First of all of that, Casey follows my advice. This is, with all due respect to everyone here, a circus. Everything from her expressions, what she's wearing, even though I don't think she could be wearing anything else other than a jumpsuit, it gets to the level of being ridiculous. And I want to spare my client that. She trusts me enough to be able to update her, and I do, on every aspect of her case. And she's intelligent enough to know that I'm doing everything in her best interest, and we cover everything extensively. I visit my client, all of my clients that are incarcerated, as much as I possibly can to keep them up to date with what's going on in their case.
Jose, how do you keep those pictures private? Even though there's the server and everything, can someone still take a cell phone picture of the picture? I mean, how do you really keep it private?
Like I said, that would be an impossible task. The issue with that is I can't prevent anyone from robbing my briefcase right now and knocking me over or holding me up for these photographs. I mean, there's nothing you can safeguard 100%. I am certainly doing everything I possibly can to ensure that Kaylee's privacy, Casey's privacy, and that of the Anthony family are maintained, and to prevent any of this nonsense from going on. I would ask all of you, get away from that funeral home. There's nothing there for you to see. There's no reason for you to be out there, and quite frankly, I think it's tasteless. So, if you all want to honor Kaylee's memory, leave that alone. Leave her alone.
Jose, was Casey supposed to be in court today, or was there something that was supposed to be signed to waive her appearance here?
No, she wasn't supposed to be here. The common practice within Judge Strickland's, I mean, you pretty much saw everything. The common practice is that she's not required to be there because I advised the court. And the court was aware, everyone was aware. It was at this point that the state raised the objection, and we're going to do things right. If to appease both sides, I think the judge did that, and in the future, if it's going to be that practice, we're going to go. We'll just submit it in writing, and her appearance will be waived in that way, unless it's something that the state would object, and it's critical that she be there. And for these discovery issues, legal and evidentiary issues, I don't find it necessary for her to be there. So that's why I waive it.
Any idea why the state would want her there?
I don't know. You'd have to certainly ask them. I really can't speak for them.
So how do you feel it went today, and what were all these emotions about? Do you feel the state is not being forthcoming with a lot of the evidence?
I'm not going to throw stones. I think what you saw today was both sides trying to work together and to move this case along. I have been as diligent as I possibly can be to stay on top of the state, to ensure that I get everything that I ask for and everything that's out there. If someone's on trial for their life, they should have every single piece of evidence that the state has or law enforcement has. If it's in law enforcement's hands, it's in the state's hands as far as legally and I'm concerned.
Is your patience fine, or is it beginning to get tested? Because some of these things that you've requested, like the interviews with George Anthony, seemingly have been requested for some time. I mean, when do you say enough is enough, or are you at that point?
Well, I can't go over there and beat it out of them. So, I obviously we are frustrated to the extent that we don't have everything that we want, and all I can do is use the legal channels to get them. I see if I can go through it, they can go through it. and they can get me what they need. Yeah, I mean, they certainly have a whole lot. They have a lot more resources than we do. So
to explain to people who may not understand the way the court system works, especially in Florida, this is what you're requesting is, I don't know if it's discovery, but they're expected to give you everything they have.
Absolutely.
There's no surprises like the old, Perry Mason sort of things.
No, it's not trial by ambush. There's full disclosure, and it's reciprocal discovery. So things I have to turn over to them that I expect to use at trial, and the state has that burden. They have to comply with the rules of discovery. This is very normal. What's not normal, obviously, is the amount of discovery that's out there. So that may be some of the reasons. But if I can go through it efficiently, so can they. And they can get me what we're entitled to.
It doesn't sound like they're ready for a March trial, or have any intention of having this move along by March.
Again, I think you're a plant for the state because you keep asking questions about the state. They would have to answer that.
But you seem to be on track for March.
Well, I could be if I had everything that we needed, and we certainly don't. So I think you've all seen how I keep coming and coming and coming. Another 10 motions, another 15, another 10. That's all we can do. And at some point, I'm sure the judge, I think the judge is doing a fair job in trying to accommodate both sides, and that's all that we can do.
The fingerprints and the DNA swabs from Lee, Georgia, Cindy Anthony, why do you want those?
Because law enforcement has them, and it has nothing to do with any aspect of the case other than I want every single thing relevant to this case that law enforcement has. As you can see, I didn't push any time thing on that because, quite frankly, I just want it all.
Since we haven't seen...
that's a bad quote, so don't please.
Since we haven't seen Casey in a while, and you were suggesting that people will draw conclusions, tell us, how is her demeanor, her discussions with you? How's her mind?
Kerry, I've commented previously, and I'm not sure if you were privy to that. I'm not going to get into conversations or how she's feeling or what she's going through. This is her moment. This is her privacy. This is her tragedy that she's going through. And I don't think it's her place. It's my place as her lawyer to be commenting on what she's going through. It's not for me to comment on. And if I had a lawyer and I was in her position, I wouldn't want him out there or her out there commenting and making those statements. You got nothing to say, yeah?
Quiet there.
Thanks, Jose.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Jose.
Question for you. Just one last question.
So long as
I know.
won't even say it.
I was going to say, I just wanted to get your thoughts on this new development with Hoover and Dominic Casey videotaping the crime scene earlier, and Hoover saying that somebody was on the phone directing them to that crime scene. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it certainly wasn't me. So any accusations that that's the case, it's ridiculous. I don't know. Until I see that video and until we speak to both Mr. Hoover and Mr. Casey, it's anyone's guess. This could be nothing or it could be something. So I'm not going to make any accusations or any unsubstantiated accusations. I think there's been enough of that for one case.
Obviously, it's on your radar if someone was in that area on a phone.
Obviously, if someone's in the area and has video or photographs of it, I want them. I would like to see them, and I'd like to speak to them, just as law enforcement would. So I don't know what they're going to say or anything like that. So until we do, I really can't comment any further on that.
The person on the phone with Dominic, was it anyone that you might know or from your defense team or?
Mr. Casey, after October, had little to no contact with us. So I don't know what else to say beyond that.
Thank you.
All right.